Just in case you do not know me, I'm L.D. Russell, and I teach in religious studies. And I'm so glad to be here today. I want to say thank you, as always, to Chaplain Jan Fuller, to her trusty sidekick, Jan Register, the ever-able Diana Abrahams, as well as her Truett Center student minions, and all of our campus chaplains for the good work that you do here every day, both at Elon and in the broader community. I also want to say thank you to each of you for coming today. I want to give a good shout out to my tribe, both current students and alums. Yes, you know who you are, both here and out there on the YouTubes, right? Once a tribal member, always a tribal member, right? Yeah. Well, I have been asked to address the topic of the company we keep. And I have to tell you that the Spirit is on me this morning, so I need you to lift me up. It's been a tough week. It has been a tough week in my classes because I'm a peacemaker, right? I'm a hippie, okay? It's what I do. This week, not the most peaceful week because we're wrestling with some very tough issues. Some very tough issues. And what I am seeing is young people caught up in the matrix of historical forces, cultural currents, a legacy in this country and among this species of injustice, of unfairness, even of hatred and ill will and violence in that atmosphere, right? Also leavened, if you will, with love and with concern and deep, heartfelt care and grace, compassion, empathy. And I've witnessed it in my classrooms. And it's not easy. It's not easy. For the life of me, 60 years in, I can't figure out why we don't know how to get along with each other. You know, and I live for it every day, and I know that you do too, right? It's really what we want, is to be okay, and somehow to make sure that others are okay too, right? And I have to tell you, it's one of the reasons why I'm so deeply grateful to be a part of this community here at Elon University, because I think that is really what we do at some level. You know, we talk about forming responsible global citizens and doing our best to be that in the world, right? Both locally and globally. But getting there is tough. It is tough. It is not an easy road. But I am glad that we're on it. And I just wish that you could see my students go there with each other. It is not easy. It is not easy. But the courage, the tenacity that I see is just so heartening for me. It's so deeply heartening. And, you know, to walk into a classroom and not really know what's going to happen used to scare the bejesus out of me. Now it's like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see where this is going to go, right? Yeah, so, you know, it's open-ended, which is kind of, I guess, you know, kind of like life, and that's okay somehow. But it's just important work that we are doing, right? And we need to be about it, I know. So here we go, right? The question I wanted to ask you this morning, in the time that is left of me, is who is the stranger? Who is the stranger, right? Who is the stranger, and what is it that makes them strange? Is it because they're different? Or is it because they seem different? I mean, it's apparently hardwired into our natures to beware that which is unfamiliar, because it might well be dangerous, even deadly, right? So do we just go with that base instinct, right? Or do we push ourselves? Do we dare to let ourselves be vulnerable? Vulnerable to pain, vulnerable to embarrassment, heaven forbid, right? Vulnerable to loss of what, right? Of pride, of privilege. Do we dare to let ourselves reach out a hand of, I don't know, friendship maybe, an offer of aid, I don't know, a request for help, right? As humbling as that might be. I mean, what do we stand to gain if we do? If we open ourselves to each other at a level with which we are not comfortable? Because a lot of this is about discomfort, right? Discomfort. And for some of us, we have not experienced much discomfort in our lives, but we are rubbing elbows with people who every day live in a world that is less than comfortable than it might be for some of us, right? What do we stand to gain if we open up to each other? And perhaps even more importantly, what do we stand to lose if we don't, if we can't? What gets lost? So again, I ask, and I'm asking myself, believe me, everybody as much as I'm asking you, who is the stranger? Who is the stranger right here on this campus? What does she look like? What is his name? I mean, have we asked? Am I aware that my fraternity, my sorority, in choosing me, turned someone else away? Someone who might have wanted that every bit as much as I did, and who is deeply hurt by being passed over? Have you seen the pain in her eyes? Do you understand what it means to him? I mean, is that just the way the system works? Yay me? Or might we find a different way of structuring social life, both here on this campus and beyond, right? That is less exclusive somehow, more inclusive, right? And are we aware? And here my views are not necessarily those of management, but I need to say this, okay? Are we aware as we, as we walk around campus consuming the product of a particular vendor, which shall not be named, the sandwich is chicken and it is a filet, that to some we are making a statement, intentionally or otherwise, that it is okay if our LGBTQI brothers and sisters are made to feel like strangers right here in our midst. So once again, who is the stranger? Who is the stranger in the community that surrounds our campus? Our campus. Please let it never be an ivory tower, our campus. Have you, like me, felt some frustration? And, confession is good for the soul, right? Even a little sense of superiority when you see the young men who have been driving around our campus in the pickup truck, waving the Confederate flag. Wouldn't it feel great to tell them off, right? Maybe to school them, if you will, in their ignorance and, rednecks and all the rest. Well, would it? Would it? I've been thinking about those guys. Because they're the ones that we need to talk to, and who apparently need to talk to us because they're saying something or trying to. I mean, you might even see what they are doing, that symbol that means so much to them. They are actually engaged in a kind of, social activism maybe. What are they trying to tell us? How do they see us? Are we maybe the strangers here in the old North State? Do they see us as some kind of privileged community from which they are excluded? We don't know these things because we haven't talked with them, at least not yet. At least I haven't, right? And how do we even do that? Do we have the language? And I don't just mean verbal, that too, but a cultural language, some kind of connection with those who make us feel uncomfortable, who make us angry, right? And to whom apparently we do the same, whatever our intentions might be, right? How do we create that conversation? How do we create the space for that conversation? And honestly, this morning, I am asking you because I'm not sure I know. I'm not sure any of us knows, at least not yet. But we're at a moment in our culture, a moment of radical and rapid change like I have not seen in all my born years. And I lived during the 60s, okay? I mean, in terms of race, in terms of gender, in terms of socioeconomic status, it's a moment, right? And I don't want us to miss this moment. What do we do with it, right? Because it's such an opportunity, and to be honest, it's scary as hell, right? What do we do, right? Well, one thing we can do, I think, is ask, who is the stranger, right? Who is the stranger? I hear that no Muslim is fit to be president of the United States of America, and yet I hear that the current president of the United States of America is a Muslim, so I'm a little confused, right? And then there's the Muslim kid with the clock that he made and took to school to show his teacher, and on the news I hear bomb, 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 but he made a clock. How cool is that? I mean, think about it, right? He made a clock. Who is the stranger, right? Am I the stranger? Are we, right? How do we find the wherewithal? This is the question. How do we find the courage, the openness, the tenacity? I don't know what it is. Whatever it will take, right? Whatever it will take to meet somewhere halfway. That may not even seem like halfway. It may have to be 3/4 of the way. At least it feels that way to us, right? How can we come to see that for so many others, we ourselves are the strangers? And if that be so, right, maybe that very realization of our own strangeness can be the source for a fierce brand of empathy. An empathy that grows from the experience of pain, from the experience of exclusion, from the experience of discomfort. The empathy that we will need if we are ever going to meet that stranger on his or her own terms, right? That future ally, perhaps a friend we have not made yet, right? Because we recognize in her, in him, our own deep thirst for inclusion, for community, for communion. I'd like to share one of my favorite songs, if you will. This is something I do in my classes. But unlike in my classes, I'm going to tell you who it is. I will not make you figure this one out, okay? It's Bruce Springsteen. Men walking along the railroad tracks, going someplace ain't no turning back. Patrol choppers coming up over the ridge. Hot soup on a campfire under the bridge. Shelter lines stretching around the corner. Welcome to the New World Order. Families sleeping in the cars in the Southwest. No home, no job, no peace, no rest. He pulls a prayer bag out of his sleeping bag. Preacher lights up a cig and takes a drag, waiting for when the last shall be first and the first shall be last, in a cardboard box beneath the overpass. You got a one-way ticket to the promised land, you got a hole in your belly and a gun in your hand, you're sleeping on a pillow of solid rock and bathing in the city aqueduct. Now Tom says, Mom, wherever there's a cop beating a guy, wherever a hungry baby cries, where there's a fight against the blood and hatred in the air, look for me, Mom. I'll be there. Wherever somebody's fighting for a place to stand, or a decent job, or a helping hand, wherever somebody's struggling to be free, look in their eyes, Mom. You'll see me. Well, the highway is alive tonight, but nobody's kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, and I'm waiting for the ghost of Tom Joad. thank you for being here today. Thank you for being here in this community with me. Thank you for engaging in this good work that we do. And may it always be good and never be easy. May it be so.